Well, thanks for coming back, Jenna.
Thanks for having me again. It's fun to be back.
Oh, well, back by popular demand, you guys. She's here to give us all the secrets because there's a huge lie out there that you cannot eat healthy on a budget.
Absolutely.
And so people getting out of debt, everyone's budgets are really tight and like, well, I still can't eat healthy with my family.
Sure.
But that's a lie.
It is, and it's so easy to believe because,
Yes.
it seems like drive-through meals would be a whole lot cheaper because they're not that expensive.
Totally.
But then when we actually calculate it and look at the food.
I know, so you're telling me about this. Like, this is so fascinating to me.
It is crazy. We did a little experiment. So we went through the drive-through and got a kid's meal. This kid's meal was about $3.29 for a cheeseburger, kid's meal, French fries.
Yep.
And then I made it at home. So completely different ingredients. The ingredients are almost not comparable in terms of health. So these are just oven-baked French fries with avocado oil.
Yes.
This is a grass-fed burger and a homemade sprouted grain roll. So this was $1.75 to make at home.
Seriously,
so
per
half
serving.
the price and literally so much better.
Yeah,
nutritionally.
So much better for you. So great. Okay, and you have such a great system in place. So tell us about that, how families out there can eat healthy on a budget.
Sure. So ultimately to eat at home, we have to set up rhythms. Otherwise, it just gets so overwhelming.
Totally,
we've all been there. And so I say you have to plan, purchase, and prepare.
Okay.
And that's a weekly rhythm. So choose a day to plan, choose a day to purchase, and choose a day to prepare.
Now, I do this, Jenna.
Yeah.
I'm a planner.
I
don't know the rest of the 2 steps, but I am.
Yes.
I'm a planner.
That's huge.
So what do you recommend?
And that makes all the difference. I often try to make something at the beginning of the week that I can use all the parts of, again, to maximize the budget.
Yes.
And then use in different ways throughout the week.
Okay.
So this is an example. This is just a whole chicken right here.
Okay. Yes.
And this is something that's super easy to put in something like the Instant Pot or the Crock Pot. And then we'll eat that for dinner one night. And then as soon as we take the meat off of it and eat that for dinner, then I'll throw the bones back in the Instant Pot with some carrots and celery and onion, just super quick.
Yeah.
And then I make homemade bone broth, which is super nutrient dense.
Yes.
It has a lot of good collagen and good protein and gelatin in it. And then you're using all the different parts of the food.
Yes.
And so you're maximizing that food to its fullest potential.
I love that.
And so being that the whole chicken is cheaper by the pound, also means that the chicken thighs, certain cuts of chicken are gonna be cheaper, and that makes a huge difference. So one of our favorite things to do during the week is like a pulled barbecue chicken. And I used to do it with chicken breasts, but then when I realized, hey, we could save some money by doing chicken thighs, I tried chicken thighs, and it's actually better because it pulls so much easier.
Yes.
It makes a really kind of like juicier chicken meal, and so that on top of a sweet potato with some barbecue sauce.
And then cilantro.
Yes, is just a yummy, it's so easy. And just like little tweaks make a huge difference.
So good
that's
with
something,
the budget.
a super simple transition.
Okay.
Same thing for beef. I find that meat is one of the most expensive categories.
Okay.
So we looked up a local farmer and he sells 100% grass-fed beef for $4.80 a pound.
Oh my gosh.
And in the state of Tennessee, if you're buying directly from a farmer, you don't pay sales tax. So you're automatically saving a percentage. And that goes for a lot of different states.
Yes.
And so that's almost half price for a better quality product. You're supporting local farmers, and that's huge.
Yes, absolutely.
It tastes so good too. So another category of where we can save money in the grocery store is dry products. So things like beans, flours, sometimes even spices.
Yeah.
And so that dry section of the grocery store that has all those big bins on the wall, I would always just walk by them and wonder who goes in that area.
With all the beans.
Right, lots of beans, lots of bins of beans. But interestingly enough, if you look at black beans, these are organic black beans. So a pound of those is $1.99 a pound from the bins, from the dry bins that you just scoop yourself, right? And you usually weigh them. But for the bagged beans, the same amount, 1 pound is $2.99 a pound. So you're paying literally $1 extra for the bag.
Yeah, for the fancy bag.
So just scoop your own beans.
I literally do walk by. I'm like, who goes to that bean?
Right.
It's like, look at all the beans. Yeah,
raw cashews.
But
what is that?
They're saving money.
They are. They know something that we don't know.
And now you know, guys. Now you know.
So then over here, we're going to go to the produce section.
Fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and veggies, right. And so one thing, this is super interesting. This is a container of pre-sliced apples. It's 5 bags of pre-sliced apples. The whole container is 11 ounces and it's $6.99. But if
$7 for the apples.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's good.
Just because they've sliced it for you. But then a whole bag, a 3-pound bag of organic apples is $5.99. And so you're getting almost triple the product, well, quadruple really, for less of a price. So then we think about what produce. A lot of times when we think about health, we think about, hey, do I want to buy organic? Should I buy non-organic?
Yes.
Oftentimes we want to buy all organic because we think it's healthier. And to a certain extent that's true, but let's be wise about which ones we're buying organic.
Okay.
So there's a list released by the Environmental Working Group. It's called the Clean 15 or the Dirty Dozen. So things on the Dirty Dozen list are things like spinach and berries, celery, bell peppers.
So get these organic. This is a good place to put your money if you're gonna buy organic. Go there, okay.
Exactly, and I find that even cheaper, because organic is obviously more expensive, a great way to do that is to buy frozen. So frozen blueberries, this is $2.99 a bag for 12 ounces, whereas just this little container of organic blueberries is $5.99. And so it's, again, almost triple the price for, you know,
because it's frozen.
And if you're putting it in a smoothie, it doesn't matter, right? And then on the Clean 15 list, things like that have a thick skin, like an avocado, you don't necessarily need to buy organic. Okay, so money saver there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. As far as the preparation category goes, I love to think about how we can use leftovers in a way at the end of the week where we're not wasting food. Because inevitably when Saturday rolls around or the weekend rolls around, there's all this food in our fridge that if we don't do something with it, we're throwing it out.
It's gonna go bad,
So every time we throw something out, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like $10 in the garbage.
Yes, seriously.
So I try to think about reinventing leftovers. So for example, on one week we had leftover meat sauce that we did with like a spaghetti squash.
Yes.
Leftover random piece of a bell pepper.
Yes.
Some leftover salsa that really had to be eaten.
Yes.
Some taco seasoning and some leftover roasted sweet potatoes. And so I threw it into a soup with actually the chicken broth that I made earlier in the week. Into a taco soup. So the last thing is treats. I say that the most expensive things for the week are meats and treats.
Yes.
Those are the things that drown us in the grocery store because the kids are like, hey, we need these random things. And then we spend, you know, way too much money on random treats in the grocery store. Yes. And so these I just made. Peanut butter cups are my weakness. And so this is a base of almond flour, maple syrup, peanut butter, just natural peanut butter, cocoa powder, raw cocoa powder, and coconut oil. Those are the only ingredients. And so you're getting much better ingredients, and it's like pennies compared to what you would buy if you're buying, you know, a good quality treat at the grocery store.
Right, in the organic section. Yeah.
Exactly.
You can just like
exactly. And it really doesn't take much time. I mean, in all of this, there's the balance of what's the balance between cost and convenience, right?
Yes.
And so we all kind of have to find our happy place, but when it comes down to it, once we get in rhythms, it doesn't take so much time. It's just getting in the habit of doing that.
So great. Jenna, you're brilliant. Seriously,
well,
all of this is so good.
It's fun.
I'm not kidding. Well, thanks for coming and busting the myth that you can eat healthy and still save money and be on a budget and do all the things, but still be wise with your nutrition. So thanks so much.
And it can be delicious.
Should we just eat the soup?
Can we just eat these right here?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Rachel.